folks, today is Friday, February 3rd, 2023. As usual, it's me, Jake, here to talk about all the video game news stuff that has been going on this week, and it's a pretty stacked week. So let's just jump in. The first title is near and dear to my heart, Titanfall. As you guys probably know, I think Titanfall 2 is one of the best single-player first-person shooter campaigns we've had in a while. The original Titanfall was great. The multiplayer is great. Then, of course, it spawned Apex Legends, and it seemed like Respawn was working on another thing set in this Titanfall Apex Legends universe. This has been rumored for a while. We've talked about this a little bit in the past with like job postings and stuff like that for Respawn. But unfortunately, this seemingly new single-player adventure set in this world is canceled. This unfortunately comes to us from Bloomberg reporting that, according to sources, EA has scrapped this project and Respawn is focusing on everything else they're working on, which is an absolute bummer. Not the only cancellation for Apex Legends Titanfall stuff, because Apex Legends Mobile, as you probably know, is also shutting down. That's whatever, though. But the big thing, I think, to take away from here is that we don't know the whole story, and it could just be that it just wasn't working out right. I mean, my brain immediately just goes to still kind of in that mode where it's like, single-player games are dying, nobody wants to make them anymore, but that really hasn't been the case lately. I mean, EA doubled down on Star Wars Jedi Survivor, so maybe that wasn't the case, and maybe this was canceled just because maybe the ideas weren't working or something like that. That can happen. That does happen. Still, less Titanfall in the world really bums me out. God damn. Can I say goddamn? I don't know YouTube's rules anymore. You think I'm okay? I would definitely like to know what you guys feel about that, but let's move on. The next big story is Hogwarts Legacy. It's dropping soon, and more and more info is kind of dripping out. Dripping out? Ooh, that's probably the wrong choice.
Don't say dripping out.
More news is trickling out. The newest is from an interview with one of the main developers from gameranx, and he went on the record saying that the main game will take you 40 hours to complete. But of course, with side quests and really doing everything, it can take 100 hours. So 40 hours is no slouch for sure. There were rumors a couple of weeks ago suggesting it would be like 35 hours. So I guess pretty on the money. We're going to have to wait and see how that really plays out. But that goes along with what we talked about last week with just there being a ton of side quests, and more details have come out about just like how evil you can be, what types of spells you can be. So we'll link that stuff, of course, in the description down below. But unfortunately, I feel like it wouldn't be a Friday show without some delays. We got some delays. The first one is Amenesia, the bunker. This is the one where they give you a gun. That's literally all I know about the game. But this has been pushed now to May 16th, 2023. I'm still really looking forward to seeing what Frictional does with that one because they have been kind of doing different things since the original Amenesia, so yeah. Also, Star Wars Jedi Survivor got a delay, so now it is officially pushed 6 weeks, and it's going to be dropping April 28th, 2023. I gotta say, that one looks really ambitious, and from what we've seen so far, pretty big expansion or step up from the original game, so take all the time you need. Now we got some hot rumors finally for a Marvel thing, the Wolverine game that was announced by Insomniac Games, you know, the makers of Spider-Man and stuff like that. Their Wolverine game seems like it might be targeting a mature rating officially. This is from Jeff Grubb, an insider who gets some scoops and often gets them right. He said, and I quote, "R is what they're going for." That's one of the concepts I've heard. I think an M-rated Wolverine could work. I think an M-rated superhero game could work, and this is probably the right character. Now, I mean, we know that M-rated superhero games definitely work. They have worked in the past. I still love the Punisher game from THQ. You could kill a man with a shark. So while he wouldn't officially confirm it, the fact that he's hearing that, I think sounds good. I think it makes sense. This is what everybody has literally been begging for in comments of our videos and my videos once the game was announced. Everybody was like, I hope you can cut people's heads off as Wolverine. You know, Wolverine, famous for slaughtering. Interestingly enough, he also did go into detail saying that it might possibly take place before Wolverine joins the X-Men, which is interesting. That can make sense for a game where you're just Wolverine out there doing your thing, but I said this in a video on my channel, I would have liked it to have been like he's on a special mission from the X-Men, like he's going out to do his own thing, and then at the end of the game you could actually see the X-Men. I don't know, I just like the X-Men, so that would be cool, but hey, I digress. Just comic book boy not shutting up. What if it's Days Gone, but knives can come out of your hands? Next up, some things I'm going to link in the description down below specifically for you to watch. The first is a bunch of Atomic Heart gameplay. This is more crisp stuff, pretty lengthy stuff. We've been getting a lot, but this is like a pretty detailed trailer breakdown type of thing that you should check out if you're interested in that game. I'm very excited for this game, but I still have some questions in terms of every single gameplay or firefight encounter I've seen is just a player running backwards and shooting, and I feel like that's only a thing for Serious Sam games. That's a weird minor specific criticism, but anyway, it seems cool, so check that out. Also, Spongebob, the Cosmic Shake, dropped this week, so if you're either like 7 years old or 30 years old and high like us, this is your time to shine. I'm kidding. I'm not. But this is essentially like a follow-up to the remaster of the SpongeBob game that dropped last year. So it's more of that if you were looking for just like action platformer SpongeBob style. We didn't do it before you buy. I almost did. I played it for about like 3-4 hours. It does seem pretty good, but I'll link a review from Maddie at Retro Rebound. It's a pretty good review if you want to check that out. Hey, next up, this episode is sponsored by Rocket Money, formerly Truebill. Now, this might sound kind of corny, but I like treating my finances and savings kind of like a game, like managing stats in an RPG. It helps me plan ahead and makes me feel better, which is why Rocket Money has been a game changer. It's an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. You can view and manage your subscriptions, lower your bills, create a custom budget, and more, and it's all easy. What's cool is that I had been using Rocket Money before we took it on as a sponsor, and right out of the gate from when I had been using it, I just really liked seeing all of my subscriptions at a glance. One of my 2023 goals is to slim down on subscriptions, so not only does Rocket Money identify them, but they can also cancel them for you. You press a button, that's it. So much better than talking on a phone because I hate doing that. Setting a budget has also been powerful because I get notifications for stuff and it's just a better visualization of my expenses. I can also monitor my credit. It's got a lot of features. So to save more and spend less, join the 3.4 million people using Rocket Money. I got you. Just head to rocketmoney.com/gameranx or click the link in the description down below to get started for free or even unlock more features with premium. Once again, that's rocketmoney.com/gameranx. Get your money right in 2023, and big thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Also, Evil Dead the game is getting a pretty interesting update, one that I didn't expect. It's getting a battle royale. They're calling it like a splatter royale, and I feel like the battle royale like burnout thing has come and gone, and now you just have weirdos doing it, and I think this is a pretty cool spin. It's just like 40 Deadites, you killing each other. I'm interested in checking that out because I thought Evil Dead the game was actually pretty decent. Seems like a cool update, but if you play that, let me know what you think. Also, so we've really been loving the Dead Space remake here. Did the before you buy, I put that out if you didn't see it. But just really like it. Well done. Very fun adventure. Nice to see survival horror having a thing between this and Resident Evil. It's really good. So what I wanted to link in the description down below is this great video where one of the original developers of Dead Space, who worked on like, Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, and some of the additional stuff, like the animated stuff, he reacts to seeing the remake and playing the remake for the first time, and it's a good, wholesome watch. Seeing his reaction to, Isaac speaking and having more dialogue and just some of the changes and stuff, it's a good watch. I just stumbled upon it on YouTube, so just wanted to link it for you guys. Also, what everybody has been asking for, we have good lengthy gameplay for the day before. They've been talking about this for a while. People were like, your game's not real. What's going on? There was a trademark dispute. They apparently didn't even have the name of the game, so it's been delayed. And now we got 10 minutes of straight gameplay, so you can judge for yourself. If you want my take, I think it looks a little boring. It looks a little undercooked. It looks like a lot of other DayZ-inspired survival games. I think some people just might dig that. Is it still warranting it being like one of the most wishlist games on Steam ever? Not quite. I don't know. But again, I don't judge too hard until I get the game in my hands, and this is definitely one we're going to do before you buy on, so keep your eyes peeled for that eventually. Everybody's got a take on this one, though, so let me know what yours is. Also, 2 Xbox stories. The first was like there was a rumor floating around because of something posted that the Xbox 360 aspect of the Xbox store would be closing entirely. Microsoft has reiterated that it is not, but unfortunately, they are delisting a pretty substantial amount of games. 46 titles are being delisted soon, and some of them make sense, like older Assassin's Creed games that now have more modern or updated versions of them, not just 360 versions, but then other stuff like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, which I think are pretty significant titles that shouldn't just be evaporating like that. Maybe they have other plans. I don't know. I think that this just brings another conversation of like digital ownership and stuff like that. But I'm just a normie. I have no idea how the business stuff goes. Is it Microsoft like licensing stuff? Is it them running out of hard drive space? I don't know. But as the heads up, I will link that whole list in the description down below for you to check out. Along with that, more questions as to what's the deal with Halo? Bloomberg. I just totally butchered that. Bloomberg has a report detailing more of what's going on at 343 with leadership changes, how that's been going down, the fact that they've been prototyping a new game with a code name called Tatanka, I believe is how you say it. And also them finally now, apparently after much debate, but then with leadership changes, switching to Unreal Engine for development. But along with that and like a breakdown of how things have been going and kind of what happened with Halo, the theme still seems to be like, what's going on with Halo right now? What are they really doing? As of right now, all the heads, Matt Booty, all the Xbox people have said that they are still committed to Halo, and 343 is still going to be working on Halo, but just collaborating with other studios now, but they'll still be overseeing it. I think a lot of people think more of a change-up is required, and I get that. So if you like the nitty-gritty and the details and stuff, the ins and outs are linked in this very good article, but there's still a lot of questions. You want to know how they can fix Halo? Make it like the show. Not like, don't actually make it like the TV show, but just show Master Chief's ass. But additionally, Resident Evil 4 Remake is shaping up to look pretty cool. Shout out to Game Informer, who had a big cover story and lots of exclusive videos showing us a little bit more gameplay. And it looks pretty intense. It looks very faithfully done, very cool, a little darker, a little spookier, like they've been saying. And we got little bits of information as to what is changing. First of all, a new enemy type, which kind of looks like the big, heavy hammer guy from Resident Evil 5, but this time he's a little grosser, which is cool. Apparently enemy types are going to be a new thing, but also they're getting rid of QuickTime events, and they're adding breakable knives. Yeah, wait, can we back up and talk about them getting rid of QuickTime events? How are you going to fight Krauser? You got to do all that cool shit.
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to dodge those lasers? Along with that, they're also changing up some of the Ashley stuff, and I don't want to just like repeat their coverage. I want to link it down in the description because Game Informer still does really good stuff. So check that out. Check out the videos. The gameplay snippets are brief. The rain looks a little weird in some spots, but otherwise, I am very excited to check this out. I'm also completely 1000% biased because Resident Evil is my life. It's the only... I have Metal Gear t-shirts, and then the thing second to that is Resident Evil t-shirts. But hey... Anyway, folks, that's a Friday show. I want to hear what you guys are thinking in the comments about all the stuff we talked about, from what's the deal with Halo, to how Resident Evil 4 is shaping up, to the Hogwarts Legacy details coming out, to Dead Space and the remake, and what you're just generally enjoying. As always, there's a pinned comment. Last week I forgot to pin it, sorry. But there's always a pinned comment below this video that just asks what you're playing this week. So let us know for our research so we can cater videos to you guys. Let's talk about anything. The delays, Titanfall, all that stuff. Down in the comments. We'll be down there as much as possible. Things get a little crazy though, so like I always say, you can find me on Instagram at Jake Baldino or my other YouTube channel, Jake Baldino. Also, for those of you that listen to the Friends Per Second podcast I do with The Completionist, Skill Up, and Lucy James, that is dropping this weekend, so I'll link that below too. It's been a long time, but we're finally back for 2023. But that's it. I've been talking too much, so thank you guys for being here. Thanks for coming around every Friday. We got you covered with the news. Clicking the like button helps us. Legit, thank you. But I'm Jake Baldino. See you guys next time. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And pizza's on me.